You see, it is trust that we must, because we must trust. Somehow that we are all guided. Somehow each drumbeat and heartbeat beats as one. But now we are in sinus tachycardia. It means irregular and high heart rate. We're excitable. We do not have calm. Even where it does not beat calmly, there is disturbance. One thing, if everybody collectively in the world said, we will end hunger. Wherever it is, we will end hunger. If every single person decides that that is a good thing to do, a right thing to do, imagine. Because hunger would be ended. We would find the funds, which is not a lot. It is complicated. We genuinely know what to do. I have been in advocacy for many years. I study reports. I study policy. I study research. I critique. I seek to understand independently. And I tell you that if we all decide on this World Food Day 2021 that we will collectively decide to end hunger, it is ended. If we authorize our governments to do what we need to do, it is authorized. Believe me, this is possible. This is possible. But believe me also, if we do not take this opportunity at this time with a collective effort, I fear that we will always have a world where people are hungry. And that hunger will continue to rise as it has done for the past 5 years. More people are hungry and more malnourished than they were 5 years ago. We are failing people's inherent right to food. Every 5 seconds a child dies from hunger. David Beasley, the head of the World Food Programme, continually tells us it is so. And he also tells us how they're underfunded. This is reaching the furthest behind in every type of system you can imagine. Because it is food, our absolute essence to survive. It is not a right for everyone. And people die of it. And it is not easy to listen to this. It is shockingly sad that you should have to. Imagine if every individual in Ireland signed the pledge, authorised our government to do what it needs to do. Authorise all governments to go to 0.7% GDP overseas development aid. And do so because of equity, because of justice. It is not their fault that people are hungry. It is not their fault that there is wars. It is not. Human to human, heart to heart, heartbeat to heartbeat. We just have to decide. No more hunger. One thing. In South Sudan, I read a report where in a household survey, 90% of mothers and fathers were eating less so that they could give their children more. And even giving them more was not enough. I was shocked at how real that is. So understandable from every parent and from every child. That's what parents do. Our instinctive response. It is merely this. We just have to decide. Sign the pledge. Everyone signed the pledge. And it will be so. And other countries will follow. Other people will say yes. Our priority is this. I emphasize again, we know what to do. And the money is relatively very little. Ending hunger must mean ending all hunger, everywhere. On behalf of us, world leaders pledged that they would end hunger by 2030. They pledged this in 2015 with the Sustainable Development Goals. And since the Sustainable Development Goals, hunger has been on the rise every single year. We're not ending hunger, we're adding to it. It is simple to understand. When you understand the field, when you understand the law of consequence, the law of consequence, the law of not getting enough food at the right time. And the law of consequences works like this. A child does not get enough food to eat. They grow, they are malnourished. And most will survive. Most will survive. But acute hunger, long-term hunger, always being hungry, is called chronic hunger. Means most probably you've never not been hungry. You've never had enough to eat. And this affects your weight, but it also affects your organ development. And many times you simply are not as smart as you could have been, would have been, if you were better nourished when you were younger. And as she grows, she is thin. Malnourished. And she gives birth. Because she is malnourished herself, she gives birth to a child that is also malnourished. Chronic hunger doesn't change just because you are pregnant. And this poor start in life continues on. And this is called the intergenerational cycle of malnutrition. And when you see it in the field, you really see it. You really understand the link between the parents' malnutrition and underweight and their children's and cognitive ability. You see it. And it is really sad. It is really sad. Chronic hunger is really sad. What way out? It is true that I said that we have all the answers. We know what to do, but knowing what to do and doing it are different. So, part of ending hunger is looking forensically at what we're actually doing. And to do this, we must first do it with the furthest behind. It is our duty to do it for the furthest behind. And the furthest behind are those that are most malnourished, most hungry. It is September 2021, and right now there is 600,000 people in IPC 5, which means famine. People are in famine. Certain criteria must be met before you can officially call it a famine. and they have not been met. But we know that most of the people die before a famine is called. It is already too late, and we know this. It's about what we do. It's about the principle, if you're hungry and you're malnourished, first, beyond anything else, you must get food first. And we must not compromise on this. Everything must go to this first. We are diluting down development and humanitarian. It is right, we need development. It is right. But we cannot have development until everybody is food secure. As everybody is receiving what they need to eat. We have not the time. People do not have the time to wait. Yes, we need to focus on agriculture. Yes, of course. But first, let us do one thing well. People's right to food. Scale up direct nutrition interventions. Scale them up. First. Sometimes I picture it as a field. And in my head I wander to different points in the field. And here is chronic hunger. And within the chronic hunger is some acute hunger. And people are hungry and malnourished. They're not getting enough to eat. And the other side of the field, and dying. And the other side of the field, because there is no money. There's no money for interventions. And on the other side of the field, you're building roads, cold chains, investing in irrigation, long-term solutions to their problems. But first, they must be fed. It is true. Give a man a fish, and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you will feed him for a lifetime. It is true, but he is hungry. Give him the fish. Let him eat, and now let him fish. Let him enjoy the taste. He is hungry. You have a fish. Give him a fishing rod and teach him how to fish. But first, give him the fish. It is first. The furthest behind. And it is second. Who are they? Second is women. That's the reality. Women are more malnourished, are hungrier than men. They're more vulnerable. Of course they're more vulnerable. They give birth to us. They are our mothers, and they are the hungriest. First, women. Nourish women. Giving a hungry person food is not a gift, it is our duty. We have just to decide. Yeah. So this bread we offer to the mountain, offer to the people who have summited on this World Food Day. By sharing, do we truly understand what giving is and receiving? Thank you, Holy Mountain, for this World Food Day. Thank you.